Take a look at this image. This is video captured from the indie game Subnautica. What do you see? If you said nothing, you might be more right than you think, but depending on what you mean by nothing, you might actually still be wrong. You see, it's not just that there isn't anything pictured here, it's that there could be anything. And the fear of unknown potential is a story as old as mankind. I used to think that there might be a shark in the pool at the local YMCA my mom always took us to swim. Something I later learned is actually a fairly common experience. Not swimming at the YMCA thinking there might be a shark chasing you in the pool. It's a deep biological and primordial fear that's kept us alive for thousands of years and just never left. With this in mind, you can understand how interacting with this game in any way feels to me like I'm the main character in an H.P. Lovecraft novel and I'm about to go crazy. Thalassophobia is the intense, persistent fear of deep bodies of water. The name itself refers specifically to the sea or the ocean, but if you were to go to the Wikipedia page for the word, you'd find that the most common cause of thalassophobia is evolution, which I thought was pretty funny. And if you scroll down a little further, you'll find that esteemed hypnotist Mark Carlin once said, "We all have this fear of darkness because we can't see and we rely on our vision to protect us. If you shut your eyes and you can't see, now you have to rely on senses that you don't normally rely upon." And this is actually true. If you shut your eyes right now, you will in fact not be able to see anything. And not being able to see something, or rather seeing something in your mind when you look at nothing, is the first step to having thalassophobia. So this got me thinking, what if we just had more and better eyes? I'm going somewhere with this, just please bear with me. If we had more eyes, would we still be afraid of the dark water? To answer that question, I referred to the book containing the first person or deity who had more than the factory default number of eyes, the Enūma Eliš, specifically the character Marduk. Now, Marduk is a character invented by the Babylonians at a time when they were building their empire. Probably, they inserted Marduk into the popular story of creation of the time and basically made him the main character. Think of him as a sort of proto-Jesus that unified the deities of all the surrounding cities into one epic cosmic story. They popularized him by reciting the Enūma Eliš annually in a big special ceremony in the month of Nisanu, which is in spring, as they were sowing the barley, which for an agrarian society is probably a pretty important time, I'm assuming. Now, one thing about Marduk is that he has 4 eyes, 4 ears, and understands all. So, if all fear is technically fear of the unknown, Marduk would be completely immune to any and all fear. So this got me thinking. I'm totally debilitated and unable to play this game after experiencing the first 4 minutes of it. But what if I could understand the world around me, and would the fear just go away? And just like how when you see the monster in a horror movie and realize the costume has a zipper on it, the answer is yes. But the actual interesting part of the story is about getting there. It was a long and drawn out process that happened gradually over my roughly 15 hours of time in the game. Now, conquering this fear using a video game is probably not enough to dissuade me from fearing that a Cthulhu-type monster will devour me from the depths of the sea while I'm swimming in it, but it certainly is a step in the right direction. As I was plumbing the depths of the ocean planet in this game, I found myself constantly mapping out my known territory, like I was a cat exploring a new home. This means that I was becoming familiar with the game and the dangers I can expect from each specific environment. And while I didn't grow an extra pair of eyes and become omniscient, the dark water shifted away from being an unknowable, uncategorizable entity to being something that presented a known risk, which I could mitigate by building order out of chaos, exactly like Marduk. In the Enūma Eliš, Marduk slays his great-grandmother Tiamat, who represents the unknown and is the opposite of order, and who is literally the concept of an endless salt sea. I made this realization as I was building my habitat like, holy crap, I'm literally in a salt ocean making order out of chaos, and that felt pretty cool. In the myth, Marduk doesn't just destroy Tiamat, he repurposes her. He splits her body into 2, and uses half of her to create the sky and the other half to form the earth. He takes the very thing that tried to drown the world. If you didn't know that, Tiamat was plotting to drown the entire world because, I don't know, she wanted to sleep, she was mad about her husband, it's a whole thing. He takes the very thing that tried to destroy the world and turns it into the floor we walk on and the air we breathe. And this is exactly what we're doing in Subnautica. When I break a limestone outcropping or I harvest a piece of kelp, I'm performing the same ancient ritual. I'm taking a piece of a hostile, chaotic environment, and through sheer force of will, I turn it into a wall, a window, or a titanium ingot, or whatever. I'm turning Tiamat, the monster, the chaos, into my home. What's even cooler is that Subnautica is a survival game first and a horror game kind of as an afterthought. The developers didn't script any jump scares or anything because they built a perfect risk-reward structure. This seems to be the... Oh, okay. I was gonna say, this seems to be the edge of his domain, and oh my god! The upgrade path is so intuitive, I don't really even notice it. I didn't have to check a wiki to know that the best treasure was in the most dangerous places, and I knew that the deeper I dive, and the more mythical dark potential I was willing to face, the greater the reward would be. This process of diving into the unknown to bring back the gold is exactly what the Babylonians were highlighting in the Enūma Eliš. They saw understanding as the most important thing. To them, it was the active path to being good. And Marduk, with his 4 eyes, is the ultimate avatar of this concept. He doesn't rule because he's the strongest or anything. He rules because he's braved chaos and he's formed order out of it. When I first exploded out of the big starship I was in, the Aurora, I found myself in a relatively shallow expanse of water. As I got my bearings and realized that in every direction was a blue expanse, this is okay. This isn't great, but this is okay. I can see the floor beneath me. I can see a bunch of pretty fish. I'm basically the apex predator here. But if you venture out, say 20 meters from the escape pod, you will come across a terrifying thing. This is a forest of kelp. You might think, like the fish from before, that this is also pretty, and you would be wrong. Inside the kelp forest are these terrifying barracuda sharks known as stalkers. You've seen them now, but imagine if you never have. Actually, don't. I will show you roughly how my first interaction with them went. No, no. Oh my god. The rest of the game follows roughly this same exact structure. Go to a new place, get scared, buy new things, learn about said things, stop being scared, and get the stuff that you were actually looking for in the first place. But also remember that the game keeps getting more and more scary as you travel deeper and deeper. For someone with crippling thalassophobia like myself, this is sort of a big ask, but after taking my time with it and realizing that if I don't progress in this game, I'm kind of just perpetually scaring myself over and over in this kelp forest, I was finally able to continue. And so that's exactly what I did. And the more I did it, the deeper I went in, the less afraid that I was. And this process is something that psychologists call exposure therapy, which is a type of therapy where you expose yourself, calm down, slowly and predictably to the thing that you are afraid of. And you can apply this to your own life in pretty much any area. It doesn't even need to be something debilitatingly frightening for you. It can be something as uncomfortable as public speaking or showing your face on YouTube. You just have to start small and build your way up. Eventually, I was able to defeat the kelp forest and continue onward. I discovered and researched all the local flora and fauna. I managed to get pretty darn deep on a few of my expeditions, and I was even able to find my 2 extra eyes. And I have it on good authority that I'm only scratching the surface here. And when it finally comes time to leave, I think instead, I'll stay and keep making order where there was once nothing. Slaying dragons is a work that is never finished. There are too many things we don't know, too many things to do, and not enough time to do them all. It almost makes me think that this is our purpose, to struggle, to get scared, but then to discover, and then to create. I can safely say that after playing this game, I still have some reservations about open water, but it has also given me a new way to assess that fear. I hope that you, viewer, got something out of this. I certainly had a fun time making it, and I hope to make more. If you enjoyed your time here, please leave me a like, leave me a subscribe. Tell me your fears and how you conquered them in the comments below. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.